right, we're welcoming in very special guest, Cleveland Browns legend, one of my favorite players of all time, Josh Cribbs. Josh, welcome on into the Sports Parlor. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on finally. I'm glad to be here, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a big week. I mean, our Browns are trying to get straight. We got Phil and I go against each other on the show every week in our weekly picks.
Yeah.
I'm 2 games back, so I got to get myself right. Phil knows how to pick them, man. I'll tell you that.
Phil know how to pick them?
He does.
So I've been calling the wrong people then. I should have been calling Phil.
Yeah,
man.
he'll tell you what's up.
We'll see. I don't know too much. But nah, man, I appreciate you coming, though, for
Yeah,
sure,
man.
We take it way back, man, all the way to, you know what I'm saying, where we from. But let's go back. Last season, Browns versus Steelers in the playoffs last year. Where were you, and what were your thoughts about that?
Man, so I think that was very much an iconic, situation for, the city of Cleveland to be in. And I say the city of Cleveland because we rock out with the Browns. The team and that's one and the same for real.
Mm-hmm.
So, to play them the last game of the year to get qualified to play in the playoffs, that was huge. And then to have to play them the first round of the playoffs. You played, we know what the city is like when we play against Pittsburgh. We could be 0 whatever, but if we beat them, all is right in the universe for our fan base. Hell, even for us, especially around this town. So, I was at home, and I'm emotional. I'm biased. I'm biased about our team, man, especially because we played for them, and we know how much the team and the city want to win. So, usually, if I'm out and about watching the game, I can't get too emotional when I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I can't yell at the TV. I know people looking at me like, "Oh man, Cribbs, look at Cribbs, he tripping. He really into it. He think he playing." So I most of the times for those big games, I got to be at home so I can say what I want to say around people and not get judged. Talk about whoever, because we got a brotherhood, for the athletes.
Yeah.
And because we know how hard it is. We know that for the most part, these players are giving it their all.
Mm-hmm.
Win or lose, they giving it their all. They're paid to do it. They want to have success as individuals. At the same time, that's not going to stop judgment from the fan base and fellow players as well. But we don't want to always let everybody know what we think personally. I might say something about a player, and then I might see him the next day. Oh yeah, I know I said that, but how you doing? But I was at home, man. It just was. Something I had to do to be able to be emotional for that game.
Got you.
You had some emotional moments and returns throughout your career against the Steelers. It was like, it's like that meme, online where it's like you're playing the video game and then you see those Steelers colors and you lean forward. You get into the game. Tell me a little bit about those days, because those teams were so physical. They had some dirty licks. We've called for what it is throughout the years. I'm a fan too, so
right.
There were some dirty hits throughout those days. What was it like to suit up and play that team in black and gold?
It was the best, and again, I can't say more about the fan base, because anytime we're around town and we playing the Steelers, I meet somebody at the gas station. Not really meet. They'll see me out the car window. Chris, man, take care of the Steelers, man. Beep, beep, beep. While they driving past. And I hear that. Or in the restaurants. Or in passing in the convenience stores. So how much this fan base wants to beat the team, to the east of us, and it's so many Steelers fans that reside in Ohio, that are from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And they, over the years, Pittsburgh has had so much talent as well. And they've been doing great, getting to the playoffs, winning Super Bowls. So we, over the years, have kind of judged ourselves on, one of the best teams in franchises, arguably in history.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers. They Palomalu, Ben Roethlisberger's a Hall of Famer. Jerome Bettis, I had an opportunity to play against him, but they've had very good running backs over the course of their tradition, and quarterbacks, wide receivers. I mean, the list goes on and on. They're full of Hall of Fame guys, and us playing against them and beating them and creating that rivalry again. It's been dead because the Browns haven't been as good as we should have been. And we've had talented guys, but I would say that we couldn't mix the talent with our coaching. We either had good coaching, no talent, or great talent, no coaching.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pretend to say that the quarterback wasn't a big factor, because it was. We always were searching for a quarterback, and that in turn was the reality. Our quarterbacks and head coaches were one and the same. Like one does bad, the other one go. You know,
I feel as though like you know what I'm saying, you were like one of the vets I looked up to when I got there, and I felt like the years when it was the defensive wise, you guys were rolling, but we had me, Joe, DeQuell, TJ.
A monster defense, basically.
I'm feeling like we've had teams if they just would have kept them together.
Yes.
Even though the coaching changes, I feel like we was just letting too many key people go at opportune times. You know what I mean?
And that's not coaching.
Yeah,
that's management right there. And you spoke of it. You know, traditionally, I say our defense is what kept us in games. And I say that, I would have liked to play running back. I think I would have been a monstrous running back, like pure running back.
For sure.
And but I wasn't able to. So I was able to find my way on the football field the best way I could. But that was a problem when we had to rely so heavily on the return game. I didn't mind. Hey, you can make me be the guy. I love it. But to rely heavily, like, come on, Chris, we need to play. Like, man, I'm the returner. I get the ball once this drive.
I can set y'all up, but y'all
yes. And that's how Phil was recognized. So just let's look back. Offensively, our two greatest guys that we talked about is myself, Joe Thomas, who was a tackle, and Phil Dawson.
Yeah. They talk about that flag in every Cleveland Browns broadcast because they don't have anything else to talk about other than
offensively. Now we have in now time. Now we have a Nick Chubb and a Kareem Hunt, a Jarvis, and the list goes on and on. But we have these guys. But if we look in the past, we didn't have that. Right. So, to be able to be a team to be reckoned with, and to not just be fighting hard. Like, we all fight hard, but that's what we would get praised for, man. You guys really fought out there. I don't want to fight. I want to win. But our team, our defense, we was always known for our defense. They'd be trying to keep us in it as long as we could. Yeah. Like, good job, defense, but we couldn't score 13 or 12.
Josh, an interesting point that you just made there was about the quarterback position. It's something that has kind of plagued this organization since its return in 1999. And now there's a lot of fans, and Phil and I have kind of talked about it ad nauseum, is every week it's something else. If Baker goes out there and does really good, he's the next Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Yeah. If he goes out there and throws a couple picks and is limping around a little bit, there's the people to chime up that they're cheering for the backup. They're booing him when he goes down.
Absolutely.
Where do you fall with Baker right now? Because he is such a polarizing figure in a contract year, and people are like, they got to kind of make a call one way or another at some point.
Right. They don't have to make a call, really. Not right now. It's speculation that if he plays in that next year without a contract, he probably won't be here next year unless he kills it. And that's a two-way street.
Yeah.
If you look at his season now, it's not the season that tells a GM, man, we got to keep this guy. Let's keep him, man. Let's do everything for him. Give him what he wants. He's not playing like that.
Right.
And we really don't need him to play balls out every game. We have the talent. So where I stand, I'm stats. I'll listen to the post game comments. Phil, you know this. We can rely on that. I don't have to talk bad about him. Yeah. If most of the games that they play, he says, I got to do better. If most of the games he plays, the coaches are, I got to do better. They had a compilation on Stefanski saying, man, we got to do better. I got to do better. And he said this over and over and over and over for weeks now. So,
and that's just I look at it as the robot in us.
Yes.
And being a player in the NFL and a coach, you know what I'm saying?
Politically correct.
You can't go out there and say what you really want to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't think the world is really ready for truth like that in sports.
Well, they won't let you. I mean, our coaches, we come and get dogged sometimes in the locker room. Well, Phil Taylor want to say that the quarterback ain't doing good just because he had a few sacks. I mean, it'll breed all type of controversy on the team.
Correct.
However, the defense did pick off Lamar Jackson four times. And that's an asterisk. That happened when we were playing. We picked off Michael Vick in his last couple years when he was playing 4 times. I want to say 6 times, and we still ended up losing that game. And it happens to the Browns. I don't know why, but when you look at Baker Mayfield, there's nobody right now out there in the street that we can grab and be better than Baker Mayfield. He took us to the playoffs.
Yep.
So we got to give him that credit. We went to the playoffs, beat the Steelers in the playoffs, and we ain't been there since. So I give him that credit. I'm biased. Not biased towards him. I'm biased towards his success with our team because he's going to make our team good. Yeah. So I want him to rally back. I want Stefanski to rally back. But as of now, he has a road ahead of him, a tough road. And in order to get to where we need to get to, he got to play better or he'll be playing his last ball here next year.
I mean, I feel like I tell Phil this all the time. And dating back to even before we had Baker, I was such a proponent for him because this fan base, and Phil has told me this, again, ad nauseum, it's hard to play quarterback in Cleveland because everybody wants to duplicate Bernie. And it feels like we get a good one. And, like, trust me, I think Baker's good. He's shown us good. He's shown us the win in Pittsburgh.
But he's shown us bad,
too. And then the fans, when the bad comes through, they're like, nah, man, we've had nothing but bad. Like, we need to start getting some winning in here. So I feel it on both ends, and I'm like you so badly. I just want to see it work because I don't want to go back to the...
I like his commercials, too. I'm not going to swell. I've been loving the commercials.
And I was just thinking about that. A lot of people be like, "Oh, he need to worry more about football and not commercials."
Yeah, he already
at this day and age, man, any player can make money outside of playing football. Do that.
Yes, definitely.
Just because, and a lot of people don't know, it's like all these commercials on. Baker did every single one of these commercials during the offseason.
Before the season started.
In probably 2 days.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But you know, there's always going to be skepticism on, well, they shouldn't play his commercial. He's not playing good. However, I start to put it, look, Coach Stefanski won Coach of the Year. And rightfully so, right? We went to the playoffs his first year as a head coach. So when the team does good, not only do the quarterback get credit if he played a decent game, but the coach gets a lot of credit. Man, Coach Stefanski did a good job, so he should get the credit on the reverse end of that. Yeah. We're not doing good. I'm gonna listen to the post, and they ain't gotta say I'm bashing the coach. I'm listening to what the coach said. He said he need to do better. All right, well, the coach need to do better. So right now, I'm gonna take it off of Baker. I'm gonna put it on Coach Stefanski. You still got the best talented guys in the league right now. Yeah. Two-headed monster. Yes, they've been injured. Everybody has been injured. Yeah. We still got a beast in the third backfield, in the third string backfield, and Dearness Johnson, who's killing it. You had the greatest wide receiver core. I mean, you got the pieces to the puzzle.
I don't know how that didn't work.
Because that's not Stefanski's offense.
Yeah.
Think about Vikings. What Vikings? I mean, had the Vikings ever, with Keenum once, right? Yeah. But have they ever been top of the league on a consistent basis? Nope. They've always been 9-win, kind of in. Not really, though, but kind of in. But good enough for the coaches to stay there because they win 9 or 10 games.
Keep you interested.
My motto is, you run that thing down that throat with Hunt and Chubb, everything else going to fall in line.
Yes. I like the diversity of the offense, though. That 3 tight end set, they've been having some success throwing the ball. We keep seeing just glimpses of it. We don't have Kareem and Nick on the field at the same time enough to scare defenses.
Right.
I mean, they're 2 of the greatest backs in the league right now. Mm-hmm. So if a defense we had both of them on the field, who you gonna cover, Phil? Like, you think it's gonna be a screen?
And Hunt can block too.
Exactly. But if it could be a screen or he could run it downhill. So what do you cover as a D lineman? Yep. And then what are your cues for as a linebacker? So we don't do that.
Right.
I think we could be doing. I think they could spread the playbook. Open the playbook. Yeah. Copy out. It's a copycat league. Why are we doing some of the?
What you got to lose right now?
Right. However, we're 6-6.
Yeah.
I mean,
still got a chance.
Phil, we had some terrible years with the team.
I know.
I mean, like 3 wins, 4 wins, 5, hopefully.
Yeah.
And that would almost be good enough in Cleveland. But we're 6 wins still. We at 500. I mean, they control their fate.
Yeah.
I think our expectation is so high that we deserve to be critical on them as fans and as former players. But our expectation is so high with this team, even the coach making it to coaches of the year last year, that we feel like they should be playing better, and they should.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They should. It's no reason they can't I've been saying this. We have a gourmet meal. The talent that we have is we have the recipe to make a fine dining meal, but the cook matters. And in this instant, the cook is the coach.
Yeah.
Because he got all this the best. We could say the quarterback is the steak.
Yeah.
Man, you making that steak you overcooking the steak, coach. It's overcooked. I can't even cut in this, man. You gotta let it marinate, man. You know what I'm saying? Though, like you got the best talent.
Yeah.
I don't want to blame Stefanski. Love the guy, man. He did everything he could to make this team to the playoffs. So I give him credit. I give them a mulligan too. If we flat out don't win no games, no more, I give him a mulligan. I'm mad though. I'm gonna be mad, emotional.
Of course.
But I give him a mulligan, man. We went to the playoffs last year after 2 years going 0-16. That's a big turnaround.
It is. And I feel like you can't put it all on everybody because, the coaches got to coach, but at the same time, the players got to go out there and play.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I feel like it come hand in hand. You know, the coach is going to try to put us in the best position to win, but we got to go out there and execute. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. I've been saying that we can't put it on the coaches, but they're judged on our success.
Mm-hmm.
So they're judged. It's different, man. If you go to the facility, I've been there before, like the pregame. Man, they in thong flip-flops for walkthrough. Thong flip-flops, like you can feel the grass with your toes. Yes. Like vacation flip-flops, like feel the grass, and shorts, your own shorts, not team issued.
Oh, no, ain't any team issue?
They ain't got to go to the locker room.
You got the Lululemon shorts.
But it's a different atmosphere because they went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is laid back. Stefanski is one of the youngest head coach. He's my age.
Yeah. And
so they want you to be relaxed and just do your job. And the only problem with that sometimes is young guys,
they don't know how to handle
that type of leniency. Like, man, we get to do this. Let me get on my job.
I see, like, me as a young guy having all that freedom like that.
Right.
Not the greatest.
It's not the greatest thing, right?
Later in my career, after being a vet and learning, like, just to buy in and, you know what I'm saying, keep your head down, move straight, you know what I'm saying, you know where you got to be. And
that's the huge difference. That buy-in, you had to learn to buy in.
Yeah.
So our team not being such a veteran team through and through, I don't think they learned how to buy in exactly.
Yeah.
And Baker is human. He's going through his struggles, and he may not always be able to help the team buy in when he has to concentrate on winning the game this week and getting a contract and doing this and doing that. And it takes other leaders, not just a leader to show, but actually to verbalize. Like, hey man, let's get the meetings, man. Let's be on our game today.
Right.
Or a D lineman, come on, get the rest of the boys. Like, man, let's kill it. I remember I was coaching there. I'm not sure. See, Garrett Miles isn't the most vocal person.
Right.
He handles his business, and then he lead by example.
He acquired smoke.
Yes. So I'm not certain that he's like, all right, fellas, to the D lineman. You know how y'all had y'all camaraderie. Y'all you're a group. You get your work in, make sure it's the top.
Yeah.
Echelon, and then y'all move on. I'm not sure it's like that, but they got Clowney on the other end.
I feel like that on the offensive side, whereas the only guy I think that was still there when I was there is Bentonio. And I feel like he could be the great leader for that offense, but he's one of those not so, outspoken guys.
And see, linemen tend not to be.
Right.
They all was a unit. Like, I would love it if a lineman, would tell the receivers, listen up. Like, come on, fellas. A captain.
Yeah.
Joe wasn't a vocal leader.
Exactly.
So I see Joe on TV, announcing and making jokes. That wasn't the same guy in the locker room.
That's Skinny Joe.
Yeah, that's Skinny Joe. That's big personality. Joe wasn't like that back in the day, but he was a guy like Garrett.
He led by example.
Mm-hmm. He knocked a guy out. I'm like, if I'm a lineman, I want to be like him. He got $1 million contract. I want to be like Joe.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes is the best way to lead, because really, your leader, de facto leader on every team is who? The quarterback.
Yeah.
offense and defense. Quarterback bring everybody together. Yep. All right, D, y'all picking me off, and we had a back and forth with the DBs and the defense, but that's all out of love, the competition. Yep. But when it all said and done, game day, quarterback bring everybody, break it down. Everybody got to believe in that guy and believe in the game plan too. Yeah. Like, because if you don't believe in the game plan, what y'all doing for the week, it's like, man, we playing such and such with these plays. Coach, man. And I'm not saying that that's happening, but everybody has to believe in everybody. And that's, I think, what Phil was talking about with buying in.
That's human nature, too, a big part of it.
One thing, one of the coaches we had, and I think it was the best thing we did because it showed the front office and the coaches what players were thinking with Rob Jasinski and the Leadership Academy, or whatever he called it we were in. And he would have some of the top guys on the team, and we would every week we would meet. What was it, Mondays or Tuesday? One of them days.
I think it was Monday when
I think Monday's a Saturday.
Monday, because Tuesday's day off. But Monday, you watching film of the last, it's the easier day to do it. I think it was a Monday.
But Jasinski, he had some of the vets and the captains, and we all meet and basically talk about what's going on, what we think they can do to help. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even got to be football. It could be something around the facility.
That's huge.
Yeah, just to, you know what I'm saying, to have players more comfortable and willing to buy in.
And you know what that built? Accountability
and trust.
And trust.
Yeah.
If you had Phil coming up there, he just gave a synopsis on what we need to do. You think he ain't gonna do it? He suggested it.
Right.
So that means whatever they suggest as players, they got to do it.
And that means when it happens, too, you're putting, as players, your whole beings into that suggestion. Like, this is my suggestion, and this better work. And you know what it shows me, guys, is I don't think we had a lot of that. Earlier this year with some of the stuff flying around with Odell Beckham, and these guys were getting thrown up there. They didn't know what to say.
It was more of a big distraction.
What was going on. It was a mess.
And I always said from the beginning, I don't. He got traded here. I don't think he truly wanted to be in Cleveland.
Right. And I think he undoubtedly matured from the Giants.
Oh,
for sure.
It seems as if
the way he handled Cleveland,
he didn't really speak bad in the media.
If that was New York Odell, he would have been throwing fists.
Yes.
He like I said, kept his head down. It is what it is.
All the way to the end. Because remember, it was his dad.
Yep.
And let me tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all this. Talks was going on behind doors. He wasn't happy, but you didn't know it until his father spoke up. And that went viral. But those conversations was happening.
It took a lot for that to happen.
It did, but
it wasn't going to come from him.
Right. And that's the most important thing. We were all thinking like OBJ, but it took everybody for a loop. Oh, he must be because he didn't come out against his dad. So those conversations were happening. They were trying to trade OBJ.
Yeah.
They were trying to make some changes. It just didn't happen, but it wasn't really out there in the public's eye because he kept his head down. Like Phil said, he kept his head down. And that let me know that he matured, even though he wasn't happy. And honestly, I don't blame his dad. That's his father.
Yeah.
I could just imagine me and my son. I'm going to be all for my son.
Yeah.
I'm biased to Cleveland, but I'm even more biased to my son.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that we talk about on this show, and the reason why Phil and I started this up is it's all Ohio, man.
Right.
We all stayed. And guys like yourself stayed. You're not from here, played quarterback at Kent. Everybody knows the story. Golden Flash alum. What was it like for you personally getting picked up by the Browns 45 minutes away from where you went to college, kind of familiar stomping grounds, and then just getting to play quarterback in Cleveland and starting a family, finding a home here?
It was pressure because people knew me. They knew of me, like even the media.
Yeah.
I had to become a wide receiver and do it at the highest level.
Yeah.
Do it for the first time and at the highest level. Just to be on the team so they can be like, yeah, he can be a backup, but be a main guy on special teams. So I remember I dropped my first pass in training camp, and it was by a reporter. It was in the indoor, and the ball rolled by the reporter, and I could hear him say, this Cribs guy not going to make it. Oh, my goodness, dog. I was like, what the? So just to hear that, he was like, this Cribs guy not going to make it. When I heard that, I'm just like, I'm like, no, who was it? And it was, to me, I didn't even look back. To me, it was like he was upset I dropped it and that he was rooting for me.
Yeah.
Because he was like, like you don't do that if you don't care about the guy. You're like, man, you dropped the ball. This ain't no good. But his reaction was, like he was disappointed.
Yeah, for sure.
And that meant something to me. I was like, hey, man, people rooting, so that gave me that inspired me even more to have a chance to make the team and to do something with it, like to make people proud. Like I felt like this was I tried to burn the bridge. Like, yes, I was did good in school, but I was like I wasn't thinking about working a regular job. I had to put everything, and this field, we got to put everything into this athlete, into this sport,
right?
Because it's not for long. We know that NFL not for long, so we had to put everything into. Even when I made the team, I didn't even think I was going to be here the next year until I started balling. But I was spending all my checks because I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to happen next year. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm at the club every Saturday, every off day, popping bottles, spending just cash. The bank teller, I remember the bank teller was like, man, you want to get direct deposit? And I'm like, nah, man, just cash. So I was literally taking my game check to the bank and getting cash. And they were trying to advise me on the run, on the fly. The bank teller was like, yeah, Mr. Cribbs, you want to just direct deposit because it just go right in your account and we don't have to exchange. I'm like, nah, cash. I just want cash. Just hand me the cash. And I felt every week in field, when I first got in the league, I didn't realize until the 10th week that we didn't get paid outside of the season. Nobody told me that. I didn't know we didn't get paid outside of football season.
That's a big thing, bro. And I feel like now that I learned all these things, these young guys need to know.
Man, they didn't tell me. Dennis Northcutt came up to me.
17 weeks.
17, a lump sum every week. So I got, and back then my salary was like, I want to say $250, a rookie minimum. And I would get like a check for $8,000 every week, minus the taxes or whatever. Right. $8,000 cash. 21 years old.
Oh yeah.
$8,000 cash every week for 16 weeks at a time.
45 minutes away.
Man, so I'm like, I'm rich in my head.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking it's going to come for 52 weeks. 8,000. I ain't do the math. I didn't do the math. Math wasn't my strong suit. I got a tutor just to get a B and calc. But I didn't know. And Dennis Northcutt walked up to me the 10th week and said, hey, Josh, man, you know we don't get our checks when season over. It stopped until next year. I'm like, I know that. Like, what did you think? I did not know at all. I just was saving face, one man to another. Yeah. And for the last 6 weeks of the season, I saved every check. My boys was like, man, what's wrong, man? We ain't going to hang out. Like, nah, man, not this week. I got the coach put some stuff on me, blah, blah, blah. And I was broke when that money lasted me all the way to preseason. We don't get paid like that in preseason. Right. We get like a stipend, like
you get like $1,300
$1,300 a week, and that lasts until the first game. I was bone dry. Could pay my rent, my mortgage, my rent. I had a renting at the time. I could pay the rent and pay to eat and live for the last. Man, up until the last preseason game, then I got that 13. It was like, ooh, Lord. And then that's when I had my journey of financial, stability and understand, okay, this thing gonna last, so I gotta do what's right.
For sure. Do you have any, you talk about Kent State, and not the most mathematical guys myself either. I went to Kent for journalism. Okay. Do you have any Kent memories that you could share with us, or just any enjoyable times in Northeast Ohio, even before the NFL?
Of course. I met my wife at Kent, and,
that's awesome.
That was, significant for me because, again, we didn't have, like, social media like it is now.
Yeah.
So we had to actually go up to him and talk to him. We couldn't DM him. Yeah, we couldn't do that. We couldn't just, it was just impossible. And in reality, she likes to tell people that I stalked her, because I saw her. She won best dress at this ball that we would have at Kent, Renaissance Ball, every year. And I'm like, man, I want that. I want her right there. And then the upperclassman was telling me, like, man, what? That's wifey material, man. And they introduced me to other girls. Like, yeah, these girls over here, they ready. I love that. You know how it works. College, man. So I'm like, nah, I want her. So I set myself to talk to her. And she kept talking to other people. She was popular. She kept stopping, talking. So every time she stopped, I gotta stop because I'm trying to. I'm like, dang. So I'm wasting time over here, and I'm indirectly getting in her pictures in the background. In the background, I'm like this. So not too long ago, she looked at a picture and she was like, man, what the heck? You in the background of one of the pictures in college? I was like, ain't that a mother? So I'm in the background like this in one of the pictures, like just looking away, and it looked like I was stalking her, but. Today they'll say I was thirsty, but how else would I have an opportunity to talk to her?
Fact,
Yeah.
if you
I had to go up and talk to her,
Yeah.
and then I was going over what I was going to say. I'm like, man, I gotta talk to a girl. I thought this was supposed to be easy once you're the quarterback in college. Like, man, it's supposed to be easy, but end up getting to talk to her. Man, we fell in love. You know, been together ever since, man. And you know, I was able to be in college with some NFL greats. You know, myself, James Harrison, he welcomed me to college football by hitting me, even though I had a red jersey on at Kent State. I was there with Julian Edelman was after my time.
Yeah.
But Antonio Gates, he took the basketball team to the Elite Eight when I was in college. So they went to the Elite Eight. He was an All-American honorable mention in basketball, and we all three of us made it to the NFL Pro Bowl at the same time.
That's crazy.
3 Kent State guys. So. It was a special time for us.
Have you tried your Twisted Melt sandwich there?
I have. I've been to Water Street Tavern. I've been to I have tried it. I love it. You know, every time I can get back, I go. The university has changed significantly.
It is. It's
I'm
crazy
sure
now.
you know Baylor done changed drastically.
I ain't been back though.
But because it's not in your area right now.
No, it's more of a new regime. I feel like they ain't reaching out. I ain't gonna reach out.
Reaching out to the alumni like that.
I feel like just the whole the stuff that went down with Browse, they really don't want to recognize that era.
Okay. They trying to erase that side of it.
You can't though. Because Browns era put Baylor on the map.
Right.
Because you got me and the other offensive lineman, Danny Watkins, went first round. Then after that, we had, 3 receivers go first round?
Right.
And Robert Griffin get Heisman.
Good.
Yep.
You can't. But the thing is, about that whole situation, the school apologized to him and said it wasn't him. But you done already destroyed his career. What that mean?
I'm sure they'd be reaching out to you financially. Kent been beating my phone up.
They love it, dude. They give me by email. They give me by phone. They give me by
I used to work in the call center as a summer job before, so I know how. Man, we got a whole little script to go down so people can donate back to the university, and they be calling me with the same script. I'm like, man, I remember that script.
You ever think about going back there to the coach?
I have. I have before Sean Lewis, who's the current coach, one of the youngest coach. He was a coordinator. He was a quarterback coach in Syracuse before he took this MAC team to a championship a few days ago. And they played at Ford Field in Detroit, and they headed to the Idaho Bowl against Wyoming. So the program is doing great. And I was putting a lot of stuff on IG. I love that the team, because even before I got there, they didn't have a winning season since the 80s, early 80s. I got there, we 6 and bowl eligible, but they wasn't handing out bowls like they are now.
Yeah.
You know how it's a ton of bowl games.
Yeah.
And we would have went to a bowl game.
I think when I was playing in college, you had to win 5. If you won
6,
I think it's 5 now, maybe.
No.
You sure?
If it is, that's too low. I thought it's 6. It's
only
6.
10 games.
6 to get in.
Is it 12
It is only
10 games?
because you got to be above 500.
Yeah, you got to be above 500 to get in a bowl.
No, you can go 6-6 and go to the bowl game.
That's 5 or better, right?
I think it's 5 or better.
No, 500 or better.
Okay.
Cause 6,
I swear I thought
you
somebody
went
made
to
a bowl game
Baylor,
with 5.
so you played more games.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We played 10 games.
Yeah, when I was at Penn State, we played
or 12.
10. No, 12. Because
12 games.
8 and 4 was our best.
Yes.
And now Kent has the pay games too. So Kent's going out there against Penn State.
And they on
and stuff,
ESPN a lot.
Yeah.
Mostly every week they just play on like Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah,
them off days. But I love
That's
it.
big for the betting.
I would have loved it. That would have to recruit. Knowing you be playing on ESPN. And we played in the Big Ten all the time. I played against O State when the year they played Miami. When they had Maurice Correct and Mike Doss, Will Smith, the linebackers, A.J. Hawk. To me, that was their best defense. I threw for 100, rushed for 100.
Well, I remember
2 TD passes, a rushing TD.
I played against O State twice. My freshman
Well, you went to Baylor, so that's not different. That's not fun.
I went to Penn State first.
Oh, yes.
But that's still
what
you don't count. You went to a big school.
Ohio State.
But you went to a big school, and I'm talking about for a MAC, man. Measly.
Bro, I was covering Kent versus Bowling Green.
But before, when I got down to Baylor wasn't nothing.
But see, okay, that era did boom. You know, Baylor put Baylor on the map. But still, you went to Penn, and Baylor is a bigger school than Kent. So I was speaking to the terms of like having these MAC schools that people probably I never would have heard about Kent until I came out here. Actually, came out here to play a high school game against St. Ignatius, and that's how I got recruited to Kent. We played against St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius was ranked in the country at the time. Had NFL quarterback. Had an NFL. Came all the way out here. Played them, and they saw me because we practiced at Kent indoor. And I'm like, man, this is a good indoor. Way out here, loved it. Then they offered me a scholarship that night.
That's awesome.
That night they offered me a scholarship and then came to the game and seen me beast out. We lost. We ain't know how good St. Ignatius was. We was good. You gotta think, Vernon Davis was my tight end. I had NFL guys on the roster.
Another thing, tell these people how people don't know how populated the DMV is.
Yeah,
when it comes
DC.
to football guys,
that's the thing. If we had 1, 2 teams for the city or 3 or 4, it'll be a monster. So much talent will come out here, but we have a school every 10 blocks.
Right.
It's a school. Yeah, so it's very populated densely, but it's not every program different. Every team got about 3 or 4 superstars.
Like my last year in high school, I played against Joe Hayden in the playoffs. I played against Navarro Bowman in the playoffs. Who else?
I was playing against Sean Merriman.
Yeah.
And then we played Sean Merriman. Like, we was playing against some great talent. Aurelius Ben was on my team. Vontae Davis, who was Vernon Davis' brother.
In high school.
In high school.
This is high school.
Yeah.
So we traveled to play and get recruited. Like, we played against Zanesville down the road.
Yeah, that's
Wheeling Park, West Virginia. You know, and so we had to travel to get our guys recruited, and that's what it meant, man.
We were known more for basketball in the DMV area.
Yes, definitely.
Well, let's talk now. Let's stay in the area because we hit Cleveland, we hit Kent. We got another place that's pretty nearby. We got to talk Canton. Class of 2022, modern era Hall of Fame nominee. I want it to happen for you so bad, bro.
You and me both.
all do.
How much would that mean to you to walk into Canton, a Cleveland Brown alum and a Hall of Famer?
You know what? I think it'll mean more for my legacy. My jersey is there. My mom saw it. She was like, "What about the person who was wearing it?" And she was like, "Forget your jersey. It was a person in that jersey. Why ain't you in it?" You know, so when I see my jersey, and my son had a chance to see my jersey and then watch the highlights of the game that put my jersey in there, to see his face, that was like joy for me above making it. I was like, dang, the way he looked at me with such aspiration, I was like, dang, I did something right. But when I'm in that conversation, that nominee, that Hall of Fame conversation, that's the joy that I get out of it. You know, coming undrafted, you know, out of Kent State, you know, from D.C., you know, we don't put a lot of people in the league to the point like it relates to other states. So when I bring my family, my area, when my success trickles down, that's the joy that I see. Yeah. And the confirmation is something like the Hall of Fame. When I see I did something that nobody did. I used to chase Hester, his records. I broke them. Like, we had a conversation about this. He was like, "Man, you the best kick returner." Not because, you know, I feel a certain way or you feel you have more kick return touchdowns than me.
Right.
So you the best kick returner. But I got more punt returns, baby. That's what he said. And I'm like, yes. And then I said, you the best punt returner in history because you have more returns, punt returns, touchdowns than I do in anyone. but I have more kick returns. I broke the record and then broke my own record. Not just that, I had more the coverage part. I tackled everybody. I had more tackles in the league. I used to make it as a returner and then make it as a cover guy, as second team. You know, every year. So who has done two? Who has done both? Who has been the top returner and tackler, you know, on a team? You know, so I think when you're talking about Hall of Fame, you're talking about something that sets a person apart from the rest. Yeah. And to be an all-decade guy. Like, I was on a 2000s all-decade team, so to boost myself up, I got full confidence I should be in. Yeah. But if I don't, I'm glad enough just mentioning me with the greats.
Yeah. If you don't, you just know it's politics.
Yeah, but it is. I've learned that.
That's why Ocho Cinco not in there right now.
And I've learned that because he definitely deserved to be.
Look at stats.
I learned this. If the Browns do good, if they continually be a good team to be reckoned with, I'll make it into the Hall of Fame.
Do you think that's just because of the chatter that more people like the Browns? Yes. The Browns are on the national map. Yes. We got to get Cribbs in there. He's a Browns legend. He's a Browns
absolutely
politics run everything.
Why you think they have fan votes?
See, here's my argument against that though. As a fan, that growing up, all I had was you and Joe and Phil. That's it. That's my vote. You were the organization for all those years.
So that's why they have fan voting. If it was just off of stats, it wouldn't be no go to this website and sign and vote. Yeah. They'd just go off your stats. Like, this guy is going. It would be a committee. This guy is going. Right. Or this guy is nominated and we're gonna all vote as a committee. Not a fan base. Because then you're biased. You're voting on, you know, I like him. I don't care if he didn't score.
He played for my team.
Yeah, he played for my team.
Yeah.
Either you in or you're noteworthy, you're an all-decade Pro Bowler multiple years, or you dominated. It was just like recruiting, Phil. Mm-hmm. When I was coaching there, we had to look for guys who stuck out like a sore thumb. If I was looking at Phil, and every time I turn on the film, and he stick out, and he's dominating, and it's noticeable every game. Like, who's this guy? Like, literally, I don't know him, and he sticks out. That's the guy I want to recruit. That's the guy I want my team. He sticks out like a sore thumb. Yep. He's scoring, or he's making all the plays. Who is this guy? Mm-hmm. That's how you can tell a Hall of Famer or a guy who deserves recognition over everyone else.
Yeah.
Stick out.
Yeah. When you got the tape, you got the stats. Football Reference is out there for everybody for free.
The NFL is the best of the best.
Yeah.
Everybody out there is the best of the best. So you sticking out among the best of the best, man, you special guy, man. That's all I can ask for. For sure. Special guy.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know that we got your back. You got our vote. You got Cleveland's vote. I know you know that nobody reps Cribbs like Cleveland. We appreciate you coming on the pod, man. This was a lot of fun. We kept it real. I mean, we talked current Browns, former Browns. This was a lot of fun.
I love it, man. Y'all gotta have me back on, man.
Yeah.
Now that because me and Phil, man, he was about to beat me up, man. Phil was like, "Hey, man, I ain't gonna call you no more, man. You better come, like I said, or we gonna have." And I ain't want no problems with Phil, man. I seen him play on the field.
If anybody knows,
so I didn't want any problems.
It's me, bro.
I didn't want any problems, but I tell you, man, I had so much fun, man. Y'all gotta have me back on. We gotta talk, especially as the season progresses. And whenever y'all do this, man, I really appreciate y'all.
Well, like I said, they renewed us, so we gonna be gonna go all the way through the playoffs.
Yes.
They want us to do an episode, even after football done. They want us to do an episode every other week or so.
Man, that's excellent, man.
We're back.
Hey, get me on here.
Yeah, for sure.
We got you. We appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thank you.